All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott, your instructor for the online version of 152-163 Relational Database Design for the fall 2015 semester at Blackhawk Technical College. We're in the middle of Chapter 7, our last chapter in the Access section, and I'm on page 427 on the bottom of the page. And the author mentions here, command buttons are buttons placed on a form that users can click to carry out specific actions. To add command buttons, you use the button tool in the controls group. So I'm going to go back into design view. And when we look up here under our tools, we notice that we have, where is it? I know someplace up here we've got a command button tool. There it is. So I'm going to follow the steps that are on pages 428, 429, and 430. Says you may find you can improve the functionality of your form by adding command buttons. Before adding command buttons, as always, make sure that that's turned on. All right, so display this, tap or click the button tool, and then move it to the approximate location that they tell you to move it to. So, in fact, I'm going to click that again, and I'm going to move this down because I'll need that to be a little bit wider. All right, so click on my command button tool, pretty close to the end here. All right, so we positioned it hopefully accordingly. In the categories box, we want the go to next record chosen, and we want to click the next button. It has the desired text, so we don't need to change it. All right, everything is cool. So click the next button. Give this button a name, Next Record, and click Finish. All right. And right now, I guess by default, it actually shows it like this. All right, and I don't know if I can manually change it to next record. Doesn't like that. All right, so let's click on it. We'll go back to our property sheet, and the name is next record. Already it says the caption is next record. So I'm going to remove this and try to add it again. All right, so I'm going to come down to my button tool, click right there, go to next record, next. We want the text to say next record. That was it. I had picture chosen. All right, so again, we'll call this next record and finish. There we go. So we've got the next record, and I believe we're also supposed to add 4 more. Previous record, add record, delete record, and close form. So I'm just going to go in here, and I'm going to add the rest of them. So this next one is previous record. And we have add record. Now you can see that the size of the buttons, it looks like pretty much is going to be dictated by what we have in there. We can stretch them out if we want to or need to, but I'm just going to leave it the way that it is. All right, we also need to put in delete record and close form. All right, again, not perfect, but it looks fine, pretty much as far as I can tell, the way that it is. So I've gone through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and step 5 on pages AC 428, AC 429, and AC 430. All right, so let's save, see what it looks like. Now notice it says here, can't go to previous record because we're at the beginning. All right, we could add a new record if we wanted to, and notice all of our stuff here works. All right. You're about to delete a record. I don't want to do that, so I'll click no. I can save, and let's close the form. Boom, it's closed. All right. I'm going to open it up again because that's what we're working with, but you can see what we're doing here. All right, the only other thing I want to do is go back into design mode here. Since I've stretched this out a bit, I'm going to move all of this over so it looks a little bit nicer underneath here. Let's see if that looks better. I think that looks a little bit more uniform. All right. Okay, that brings us to the bottom of page AC 430. Although you can use the Find button on the Home tab to locate records on a form or a report, it's much more convenient to use a combo box. We already know how to create a combo box because we've done that earlier. All right, so what we want to do now is we're going to want to, up in our top here, we're going to want to put a combo box that'll allow us to put in the current or the customer that we're searching for in there. So I'm going to come up here, click the down arrow. There's my combo box. I'm going to take it. I'm going to click, following the steps that are on pages 430, 431, and 432. All right. Tap or click the Find a Record on my form based on the value I selected in my combo box. Click Next. Tap or click the customer name field, and then click Add. Click Next. You're telling you to drag this out, so hopefully you'll be able to see everything. All right, that looks about right. Could have also double-clicked over in here, all right, to get the best fit, like that. Okay. All right. Tap or click the Next button and type as the label for the combo box, ampersand name to find. Tap or click the Finish button. There's name to find. All right, as I have been doing, though, I'm going to go over the Format tab, bold it, and right justify it. All right. So let's take a look. So let's save. Always save after you do these operations and run. Now notice it has here name defined, but it also has in here the N it's got an underline by it. That means it's a hotkey. So I can also do an Alt-N to choose this. And there's my names. Looks like I should drag that out a little further because right now, again, it's not big enough. Better, not perfect, but better. All right, make it a little bit wider. And there you go. The author says in the middle of page 432, asks the question, why would you include a combo box on a form? All right. you have to ask yourself, as they mentioned there, would it improve the functionality? Is there a place where it would be convenient for users rather than having to type in a lot of data? Would there be a place where it would be easier for users to come in and actually be able to choose data like this? Okay, I'm going to do two things here, and they may not even be in the book, but I'm going to click on here, and where I have that formatting, that color, I remember what it was, so I'm going to come over to here, format, fill color, and I want to come down there. I like that a little better. Oh, that's the background color. Didn't want to do the background color, wanted to do the font color. So let's come in here and let's do the font color, and we'll make it that same color. And I guess it is bolded. And we'll do the same thing here. I just, again, this is my own personal take on this. I like it when this thing looks a little bit more uniform. You may or may not agree. Okay, so I'm on the bottom of page 432, and on 432 and 433, the author talks about how to place a rectangle tool. All right. And I believe what the author wants us to do is to put a rectangle around this entire field so it can be basically used as one unit. So let's go back here. We'll go to our tools under design. So one of these should be a rectangle tool. There it is. Again, I'm clicking to cover all of it. Under the property sheet, we want to change the effect, special effect to etched. It already is. And we want make sure that the value of the back style is transparent. And that is also. If it's not transparent, of course, the rectangle would cover the combo box. All right, so we're going to again save. We won't see any dramatic effect on here, all right, other than the fact, again, because it's etched. All right. Now, again, maybe because I'm a little anal about this kind of stuff, I like it when it appears as though the stuff that's in here really looks fairly coordinated as far as the size, etc. So I like that. Okay? All right. Once you've created the form, you can use it any time by opening it. The following steps: open the customer master form. Well, we've done that already. So pretty much what you see on your screen, I believe at least, pretty much what you see on your screen is what you see in the book in figure 7-38 on page 434. So we can use the buttons to move to the next record, previous record. We can add, I already showed you that, we can close. All right. So the following step on pages, or the bottom of page 434, we can go and add a new record. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new record, and customer number, well, let's go to the previous record. All right. So I'm going to add a record. I'm going to just make this up. This has to be in the customer number table, I believe. Well, let's see. JPS01, that's me. Customer name. Yeah, I just added that information. Now, if I go to previous record, you can see it's in there, and under name defined, it's not in there. Let's save. Let's close the form. Let's open the form again. And there it is. So I can click there, and there I am. All right. Hopefully, I mean, if I have to, I can always delete that record later. In fact, I can just delete it right now. Delete. Again, it does tell me I'm about to delete a record. Yes. All right. And what I should notice now is when I go in and I close the forum and open it back up again, that Jeffrey Paul Scott is no longer there. Okay? All right. So we're on page 435. To use the combo box. Using the combo box, you can search for a customer in two different ways. You can tap or click the combo box for a list, or you can start manually typing things in there. I've kind of shown you that already. So what's on 435 and 436, we've already pretty much looked at. Okay? All right. So that brings us to issues you can come up with your Add Record button on page 436. Although tapping or clicking the Add button does erase the contents of the form to prepare it to add a new record, there's a problem with it. After tapping or clicking the Add Record button, there should be an insertion point. In other words, the focus or the mouse should be on a certain field. All right, the combo box also has issues. First, if you examine the name, you'll notice they're not in alphabetic order. Second, when you move to a record without using the combo box, such as navigating there but using the buttons, the name in the combo box doesn't change. To correct the problem with the Add Record button not displaying the insertion point, we'll add a macro. All right. Specifically, you will add an action to the macro that will move the focus to the control, to the customer number field. The appropriate action is the go to control. So to modify the macro for the Add Record button on page 437, 438, and 439. So we're going to do that, and then we'll do the combo box on the next several pages. So the following steps is mentioned here on the top of 437. First, change the name of the control to remove spaces. All right. So I didn't use any blank spaces, so I don't have to do that. All right. Tap or click the View button arrow, and then tap or click Design View to return to Design View. All right, so I'm there. If necessary, tap or click the All tab. Ensure that the name property is selected. So where we've got customer number here, ensure that the name property is selected. Tap or click immediately following the word customer. Press the delete key and then type an underscore. And that should change it here also. Okay. Well, actually, they told us to change it there. So I'm going to change it right here under name. Okay. Close the property sheet and then press and hold or right-click the Add button. So let's save. Let's close the property sheet. All right. And then press and hold or right-click the Add Record button to display a shortcut menu. Step 3 on page 438, tap or click the Build event, which is right up on the top of the shortcut menu. In the action catalog that comes up here, the catalog lists all of the available actions. If it does not tap or click on the action catalog button. It already did appear. If the expand indicator is an open right triangle in front of actions, tap or click it to display all the actions. If the expand indicator in front of the database options is an open triangle, tap or click it to display the actions associated with it. See figure 745. I don't have one that says database options. Let's try data entry options. Nope. Okay. What is the purpose of the actions currently in the macro? The first action indicates if there is an error where we should go to. The second action is the go to record, etc. All right. The new indicates should go to a new record, etc., etc. All right. So I've got all the stuff that's shown here. Drag the go to control action into the position shown in figure 746. Type customer number as the control argument in figure 746. All right, this is a new one on me. This is one I've done very little work using macros. So give me a second and let's take a quick look at it. We'll have to take a quick look at both of these. All right. So we want the go-to control and it looks like we want to put it right there. And for the control name, we want customer underscore number. Tap or click the Save button to save your changes. Close the macro group to return to form design. Hopefully that did it. So if we run this and we choose the add record, there is our cursor. So that looks pretty good. Looks like the street here needs to be a little wider, so let's let's widen that out also. Looks better. All right. Now to modify the combo box, I'm on the bottom of page 439. I'm going to go through steps 1 through 5 on pages 439, 440, 441, then look at the using the modified form on 442 and 443, and then we'll stop this and start our last lecture, hopefully. In a previous step, you discover that the combo box does not display the customer names in alphabetic order. To ensure that the data is sorted in the correct order, you need to modify the query that Access has created for the combo box so that the data is sorted by customer name. Also, the combo box does not update the name in the combo box to reflect the name of the customers currently on the screen, which will require you to modify the VBA, which is an acronym for Visual Basic for Applications, code associated with what is termed the on-current event property for the entire form. So, step 1, tap or click the name-defined combo box. Let's go back to here. All right. So tap or click right there. Then tap or click the Property Sheet button. Change the name to name to find, and wow, that's a sin right there. That's a cardinal sin. Whenever you add controls, never leave them with a default name like that. So put this as to name to find. To defined. All right. Go back to the control source, which is right here. Scroll down the property sheet so that the row source property appears. I think we cancel this. Go back down so that the row source property appears. Of course, I didn't see it, so let's take a look from the top. There it is. Click that, and there's our query that we'd put in earlier. All right, a long time ago. All right. What we want is we want this in order by customer name. All right. So let's save. Whoops. You want to save the changes that you made and updated the property. Yes. All right. So now let's go back and run it again, and let's see if indeed this is in alphabetic order, and you see that it is. I think mine already was because I might have had it set up like that, but regardless, it's fine the way it is now. All right, so that's step one. Step two, close the property sheet first of all. Make sure the form is selected. They tell us to select the property sheet again. Tap or click the property sheet. Scroll down until the On Current property appears. So in here we have to find the On Current property. There's the On Current property right there. Tap or click the Build button, which again is the three dots. And we want to display the Choose Builder dialog box, which we have. Tap or click Code Builder. This is the first time we're doing this. Click OK. And we want to add the code that's shown in step 4 on page 441. Now you'll notice I hit the tab key just because taking stuff like this and tabbing it out and putting a little white space in there makes it easier to read. All right, so that's equal to the customer number, update the combo box. Now, a couple things about what's in here. All right. This is saying for the form, whenever it's up, whatever the customer number field is, that should be, whatever the current customer number is, that should be the name that's in the name defined. And this single quote with the update the combo box that you see that's in green means it's a comment. So we can close this. We should be able to close this and return to access. There we go. Tap or click the name defined combo box. And then tap or click the property sheet. Going back to design mode again. Scroll down until the tab stop property appears. There it is. Change that to no. Save your changes and close the form. Now before we do, let's take one last look at it. And let's see if we change from here, from Applewood, if this changes. And you'll notice that it does. The problems with the Add Record button in the combo box are now corrected. When you tap the Add Record, an insertion point appears right there by the customer number. When you tap or click the name defined, you'll notice it's in alphabetic order. After you're here and you use the Next Record button, that changes in here and in our name defined. So we've now tested everything and it all appears to work. All right, so that's pages 442 and 443. I'm going to stop right now and come back and then do the last lecture, which is about 20 pages or so, where we'll go on to a multi-page form.